Today, we showcase many of the stars on ice who captivated us at the last Winter Games. And from important competitions in Germany and Canada, you'll see world champions and Olympic gold medalists, the Lillehammer contenders.
The road to the Olympic ice in ladies figure skating begins in Changchun, China, hometown of world bronze medalist Chen. It begins outside of Boston, Massachusetts, where Nancy Kerrigan grew up playing hockey with her brothers. It begins in Chemnitz, Germany, where Katarina Witt learned what it takes to win 2 gold medals, and now maybe a 3rd. And it begins in Dnipropetrovsk, Ukraine. Once an outpost of the Soviet Empire, now a city in a country trying to catch up with what's left of the 20th century. And the unlikely home of as natural a performer as this sport of figure skating has ever seen. The tears were Oksana Baiul's cry for joy over the miracle of winning the World Figure Skating Championship last March at age 15. We visited her hometown in August, where she trains with a coach who has become like a mother because Oksana's own mother died of cancer 2 years ago.
Ножку повыше можно поднять? Можно. А здесь то же самое, за толчок должен быть. Ты выходила здесь в спираль, а ты проползаешь так тихо, и можно вот так делать тебе. Ча бомбила. И вот там то же самое. Активнее, чуть все поактивнее. Ладно? Еще разочек. Ладно? И дальше пойдем. Готово.
Galina Snievskaya guides the Olympic training and, in part, the life of her student. Baiul, who has no other family, lives with her coach, who is also coach and mother-in-law, to Olympic gold medalist Viktor Petrenko. On this day, they're working on a new technical program for the fall competitions and the Olympics.
А что ты там тройку выбросила внутреннюю?
And on this day, things are not going so well.
Ты выбросила внутреннюю тройку, ты подтащила себе под борт. Мы уже резать не будем, у нас уже время точное. У нас точно время. У нас 2:40. Мы там не будем резать. Про бант. Бант поправь. Ну что, дальше пойдем? Да.
She won Skate America last month, though not impressively. This Scott Hamilton was her second appearance of the fall Nations Cup on ice. Oksana Baiul 1 week ago in Germany.
Oksana stumbled to the gold medal at Skate America. Didn't skate well at all. Her next international appearance was here at Nations Cup in her opening combination. Triple Lutz. Couldn't hang on to the landing. You have to wonder, at age 15, she wins the World Championships, her first World Championship she ever attended. Getting there is not always as difficult as staying there. And at age 16, she has to face all those skaters that she beat last year, defending her world title for the first time at the Olympic Games. Very tough.
At this young age, too, Scott, she's had some rather dramatic changes in her lifestyle.
Think about it. You win the World Championship your first try. Then you go on a 3-month tour of the United States doing exhibitions. So much to deal with. At so young an age, training habits change. Your whole outlook towards your skating is now so much different. I imagine it's got to be really tough for her to focus. But just watching her skate, it's not tough to find the positives. She's a great jumper, solid footwork, beautiful artistry in her programs, and she's also a very talented spinner.
Though it was not a perfect program, the judges' scores, particularly for presentation, were high enough to put Baiul into first place. German teenager Tanya Shevchenko was second. We'll see Oksana's free skate a little later. Right now, let's send you back to James Brown. They won the 1988 Olympic gold medal and 4 world championships before turning pro in 1990. But with new rules for eligibility, Ekaterina Gordieva and Sergei Grinkov are back for a second gold medal at the Lillehammer Games. One of the really intriguing elements of the forthcoming games in Norway is that in each of the 4 disciplines, a gold medalist from the 80s is coming back to compete.
In the men's event, 1988 Olympic gold medalist Brian Boitano has announced his return and is already considered one of the 4 favorites for an Olympic gold medal. In the ladies' event, 84 and 88 Olympic gold medalist Katarina Witt is coming back. While the sport has changed quite a bit since she competed, it'll be interesting to see how competitive she is, and a lot of those questions will be answered next month at the German National Championships.
We know that ice dancers Jane Torvald and Christopher Dean will be innovative, but they haven't competed since the 84 Olympics. Can they still be competitive? And of all the returning champions, the ones with the best shot at a gold medal has to be a pair from Russia, a pair that is only now coming into its prime.
When they won that first medal, he was 21 and she was 16. Now, 6 years later, they are husband, wife, parents of a 1-year-old daughter named Daria, and have come here to Skate Canada to debut their new Olympic programs.
And here's a jump she did not miss once all week. The double axel side-by-side, a crucial part of the technical program. They skated strong, flawless. This technical program, of all the ones we've seen, is by far the best one out there.
I asked Ekaterina Gordieva what story their long program would tell.
It's just about regular people, just about woman and man who is like it goes through all their life, and that it's like they working in the first part of the program, and then they love each other in the second one, and then they want to go forward. They want something more in the third part. Things it is.
And so the return to competition of Ekaterina Gordieva and Sergei Grinkov.
We wish that people will see the other side of figure skating, especially pair skaters, who is doing not only good elements, but they can make like life on ice. We hope.
Coming next, Life on the Ice with Oksana Baiul.
We will be right back.
Up is Nancy Kerrigan. The Tears of March became a gold medal smile on the Olympic ice in October. Now she's back in training and a favorite for February. Down is European champion Surya Bonali. She took first place against a weak field in Paris last week, but her 4th place finish to Kerrigan sparked rumors that she's looking for new coaching help. Up is Chen Lu, a bronze in Norway, was followed 1 week later by a gold medal at Skate Canada. the question marks belong to Katarina Witt, who won't unveil her Olympic programs in competition until next month.
Look, if Katarina has any doubts, it certainly isn't with strategy. She's waiting. She doesn't know where she fits into the sport, and any of those questions will be answered at the German Championships, where she's going to try to make the Olympic team.
Next skater, Team Ukraine, Oksana, Baiul.
Meanwhile, the world champion, who turned 16 just 11 days ago, put her free skate into competition for the second time this year.
This is the same free program she did last year to win the World Championships. She skated very conservatively, leaving out a lot of the combinations that she had planned. She opened her long program with the same jump she missed in the short program, and she missed it there too. No mistake is more apparent than a mistake following another mistake. She came down short on this triple flip, not enough rotation, not a great way to start.
Oksana Baiul competed in Dallas back in October in Skate America. Scott, she won that event, but she wasn't particularly strong then either.
The hardest thing in the world is to try to live up to what your image of a world champion skater is. I went through it in '82, but it's also very important because when you're on top, everybody's wanting to bring you down. You've got to skate well and you've got to be convincing. Otherwise, it's next to impossible to defend. It still blows me away how comfortable she is in front of an audience. She's beautiful in the slow sections and she's vivacious in the up-tempo sections. The hardest thing she's going to have to overcome this year is being comfortable with herself, not forcing the jumps, but letting them happen as she did last year.
Sometimes we need to remind ourselves that she is only 16. Oksana Baiul, a less than perfect outing in Gelsenkirchen at the Nations Cup on ice last week.
It just looks like she's forcing everything. Nothing looks natural. She's just muscling every single one of her jumps. And when you muscle jumps, you lose the touch and the feeling for the ice.
The marks for Oksana Baiul were in the mid-5 range. That opened the door for another teenager, 16-year-old Tanya Shevchenko of Germany. 11th at the German Nationals less than 2 years ago. Last week, she beat the world champion. It's 88 days until opening night for the ladies. Olympic pressure is getting an early start. Back to James Brown after this. Two gold medalists, a four-time world champion, and the best athlete in the sport will duel for a golden circle that proclaims, in this place, at this special time, when the whole world was watching, you were the best. Never before have two gold medalists dueled in Olympic figure skating. Never before have they both been underdogs to a man with a record to rewrite, a score to settle, a flaw to erase. His name is Kurt Browning, and he has climbed every mountain in his sport except one. He was supposed to win last year's Albertville Olympics. It was supposed to have been more coronation than competition. But a back injury hampered his training, and this fall in the short program eliminated his chances. The best in the world came in 6th when it most counted.
I've had a few weird feelings about skating since then. Like, it's a little harder to get up in the morning. I think that stung me more than I thought. Denial. I got to keep going. It's okay. It was the Olympic Games. But I learned so much from that year, that whole year of having a disc injury and still having the expectations of winning the Olympic Games. And I think that it's made me a better skater.
Healthy again, Browning won his 4th World Championship last March with a brilliant long program skated to the music of Casablanca and the character played by Humphrey Bogart. Now he enters the Olympic season with this program to polish and a brand new technical program to debut.
Well, I've been having fun with the press about this character, and I've described him a little bit like a lounge lizard, which is like the kind of guy who you maybe wouldn't want to meet if you went out for an evening. He's fun. He doesn't take himself too seriously. You know, he's a show-off, but then he makes fun of himself. Basically, I think that he could be perceived a little differently by each person who watches the solo.
It's the first night of the men's competition at Skate Canada, and Kurt Browning is having trouble. He fell hard during a morning practice, hurt himself, and now is having a terrible warm-up as he prepares for his debut of his new technical program.
To have 1, 2, 3 feeling. I'm seeing a lot of white. Yeah. So bright. Your eyes up. That was fine. Yeah, it was fine. Do some footwork.
Backstage, there's time to regroup. 5 skaters take the ice before Browning skates last. Perfect sixes. And everyone's favorite sign says, "Marry us, Kurt. All of us."
Looks like a whole section. A whole section. I thought it said "Happy Us" or something. I couldn't read it until the very end. Marry us. Yeah.
All of us.
Yeah. The whole roll. Well, that would make it a busy week.
Still to come, Kurt does bogey, and everyone gets to pick a favorite.
Because he's the reigning world champion, he would probably be the favorite for the Olympics.
Who do you think is the favorite for the Olympics?
I don't know. I hope myself.
The favorite. Oh, well, I'm not going to say.
Some people will say. Elvis Stojko's coach says his man is ready to take on the two returning Olympic gold medalists.
If they really want to put their gold medals on the line, so be it, because I just as soon take it right away from them.
Boitano remains the standard the others measure themselves by. In his prime, they couldn't beat him.
He's always been higher than me, and I've never really been able to compete against him on level, I'd say. When I competed against him, he was out of my league. And I'd like to, be in good shape and to give him a good run for his money.
I hope in his age I'll be doing the same thing.
A coy answer by the 24-year-old Petrenko, who beat the 30-year-old Boitano at Skate America on a very close vote by the judges.
There is a disappointment that I didn't win here, but this is not the performance that I want for the Olympics.
Viktor and I are old friends, and I certainly don't think he's got any tricks in his bag that I haven't seen already. But I've always respected him because he's got the potential to do triple combinations like you wouldn't believe, and then you got to sit back and wait and see the last 2 minutes of program, see if it's going to hold together.
Well, Vern, here's a look at the last 2.5 minutes of his long program at Nations Cup. Show business, as in figure skating, it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Stamina, Scott, has always been a question mark with Viktor, hasn't it?
It's always been a big question. People say the last 2 minutes. But he's had a lot of world championship competitive experience, and I think he's really learning how to pace himself. Triple flip, a little 2-foot on the landing, and he barely hung on to that double toe loop. Fatigue is a major factor with Viktor. He'll leave jumps out, or he'll turn out of them at the end of his programs if he's tired. But you can see, nice rest here. Pacing is so important for him. When you can pace yourself into a triple axel combination towards the end of your program, you're doing something right.
Didn't look fatigued then. There were a large number of 5.9s on the scorecard for Viktor Petrenko. He easily won the Nations Cup on ice over American Scott Davis, who finished second. We'll check out Kurt Browning's free skate when we return.
It's a nice start.
For Kurt Browning, skating is as much about the audience as it is about the competition. But despite a good afternoon's practice, he and his coach know the Casablanca program is rusty.
How do you think he'll do tonight with it?
He'll be fine. I just have to convince him not to try all the stuff. Knowing him, he'll want to.
Again, he struggles during his final warm-up.
You poked it a little bit. Just take your time. Reach back. Can you erase that little slur word there?
Yeah. Again, a sold-out arena is ready to cheer every Browning and Bogart move.
Can Bogey win gold in Lillehammer?
Well, I think it's a special program. It really needs to be followed up with some stuff like triple axel, triple toe, and some real meat in the program to make sure that the technical marks are up. But artistically, I think it's waiting for a 6. It's got that potential. I felt good on the ice, actually better on the ice for my long than my short, but I didn't skate that well. So in a way that kind of excites me. It gives me a poke in the back, and it says, go home and get to work, kid, which is what I'm going to do.
But before the kid got back to work, there were phone calls to be made. Guess what? I won another one.
And guess what? I'm probably considered to be the Olympic favorite again. Looking back on the international season, the only head-to-head competition between the favorites was between Boitano and Petrenko, Boitano losing at home. But looking back on the 92 season, Petrenko lost 2 competitions before winning the Olympic gold medal.
That's the